Hello, and welcome to our Next Steps presentation. It is at this time of year that we hold a number of meetings and personal development sessions with our Year 12 students about the various options open to them so that they are fully aware of all the available next steps when they leave school. Normally, I would have this meeting with you in the school hall so I could speak to you all on a one-to-one level about the various options available. But due to the current COVID restrictions, we will do this live via Zoom, and also this presentation will be placed on the website for you to be able to access and view at any time. So the aims of this presentation are to make you available of all the different pathways available, to raise awareness of a package we use with all our students in school called UniFrog, to explain the university and the apprenticeship pathways, as well as alternatives such as college, gap years and employment. These are the four directions that most of our students, when they leave school in year 13, go in one of these directions, whether that be higher education, such as university, whether it be an apprenticeship at level 3 or above, employment, college, or gap years and travel abroad. And I'll be talking about each of these areas during the course of this presentation. We communicate with students using a number of different media, and I think it's important that you're aware of what students have available to them so that we can all kind of point them in the right direction of where to look during the course of the next 12 months. We have lots of informal meetings, more formal personal development sessions, guest speakers, virtual work experience, and on Teams we have a specific channel dedicated to careers, education, information, advice and guidance, where we post all kinds of information about virtual open days. We post information about university and apprenticeship search fairs so that our students are kept fully up to date about what is available to them, and especially now with the advent of the use of Microsoft Teams and Zoom to communicate, there is even more out there that they are available to access. One of the main destinations for our students in year 13 is university, so we will start with this one. All year 12 have already had a personal development session on this, and there will be more support over the coming weeks. What students were told recently is that you don't actually apply to individual universities, you apply through a kind of middleman in a way called UCAS, which stands for the Universities and Colleges Admissions Service. So your child in year 12 will put in one application form to UCAS, and they will then communicate with the various universities on their behalf. UCAS has a number of deadlines that they put in place during the course of the sixth form, and so actually, as our students are aware, the UCAS applications for entry to university in October 2022 are open now. So students can start the application process, though they will not be able to submit that application until they return in year 13 in the September of 2021. Certain universities, such as Oxford and Cambridge, certain courses in and around medicine and veterinary science, their applications have to be in usually earlier than all other applications, and that deadline is the 15th of October. Most university application forms for all of the courses, the deadline is January 2022, and then when you send an application to UCAS, you can choose up to 5 universities on that form, and by the summer term, students have to have reduced that down to their first and second choices. At Ellesmere Catholic High School, our deadlines are slightly different. We have opened the application forms to students now. They are able to fill that in, and that is connected to myself and the rest of the sixth form team so that we can check those. During the course of the next few weeks, they will have sessions with myself. They will also have sessions with different institutions. Chester University we're linked with, Northumbria, Liverpool, who will help them through the various aspects of the application form. First drafts I would like in by around October, and my deadline to get the application in fully is December, so we're a few weeks in advance of UCAS's deadline of January. In order to help the students understand the application process, a couple of years ago I put in a mock application form to UCAS so that the students could see the various elements of it. One of the first parts is they have to write their personal details, title, surname, things like they will be then asked a number of security questions, name your first pet, those kinds of questions. And what students are told is to remember the answers that they give, because eventually they will be given a username. And again, they have been told to log that username somewhere safe so that they can refer to it. All application forms have what's called a buzzword, and our students have been told that our buzzword is EPCHS 2022. If they put that buzzword into the application form, it means that a member of the sixth form team can view and check that application form to make sure it's perfect before it is sent off. They will then be given a personal ID number, which again they are told to log. Other key areas of the UCAS application form: every student across this country is given a unique learner number, and those numbers for each one of the students in Year 12 has been shared with them. The fee code for UCAS is 02, and if you choose up to 5 different universities or 5 different courses, they have to pay a £26 administration fee, and that must be paid on card. Only a bank card is accepted to make that payment. One of the other aspects, which you can see on the slide on the right hand side, is a nominated access. All students are informed to write down somebody who they can nominate, whether it be parent, guardian, on the form, so that if needed, somebody else in the household or family can access that application form on behalf of the applicant. GCSE results have got to be entered, as well as their current A-levels, but obviously they will not have received their A-level results by the time that they complete the application form, and so there's a section where it says grades where they will just put pending, that they are expected to get that result in a few months' time. And then comes the choices, and like I said, they can choose up to 5 either different universities, or you can choose 5 different courses within the same university, but they get up to 5 choices for the £26, but they don't have to choose 5, but obviously we always say that it is a good idea to kind of keep their options open. Students have also seen this PowerPoint in regards to the fact that there are different types of universities for them to be able to study in. There are hundreds of universities now across this country, some of which are what's classed as campus-style universities, where all of the buildings related to the university are on one site, or others such as the University of Liverpool and city-style universities. They may well have some buildings such as the library or the Students' Union in one place, but other buildings such as the Science Building or the Humanities Building may well be scattered around the city. And that it is something for some students to consider if they prefer to be in the hub of a city-style university, or whether they prefer everything to be in one place for them to help them with their organisation. Another thing that could be looked into is there are 24 universities in our country that are classed as Russell Group or Red Brick universities, which are often seen as highly prestigious. Nearby, University of Liverpool, University of Manchester, these are all on the list, of course, including the more commonly known ones as the University of Cambridge and the University of Oxford. But they're other ones for students to consider when they put their options together. One of the things that helps our students to access the information really available to them is a programme that they all have access to, which is called Unifrog. Unifrog is an absolutely amazing resource which allows them to type in their subject areas, type in their estimated grades, and Unifrog will actually take away the endless searching through prospectuses and online platforms. Unifrog brings it all together in one platform for them to look at, and it brings all the universities and the information to them. A major part of the university application process is our students have to write what's called a personal statement. This is an important part of the document because they get up to 4,000 characters which they need to use to promote themselves to the various universities. Unifrog again can help them with the personal statement, but as stated earlier, we also bring in people from the local universities, from Chester and Northumberland and from Liverpool, to help them with this aspect of the application process. It's made up generally of about 3 parts. The opening paragraph needs to be related to what they want to study. So, for example, if a student wants to study law, in the opening paragraph, they have to tell the universities what they have done that is connected in some way to the study of the law, whether it's that they have done an online course through websites such as FutureLearn, whether they have read any books to do with the law, articles to do with the law, work experience to do with the law. That all goes into the first paragraph. The second one is to do with their academic studies currently and is related to the skills that they have learnt that they would then be able to take with them to their university studies. And finally, it's everything else that they have done that could be used in order to contribute to the university community. So, for example, if one of our students has a part-time job, what skills and things have they learnt to do with that? Have they been on work experience? Are they in a sports club? Are they in a volunteer group? Anything that they do outside of school or inside of school that is additional to their studies, which again the universities want to know about. Within this PowerPoint, I have also put in some past personal statements which students have access to in order to help them with the structure of their own. So, for example, this student wanted to study chemistry, has spoken about why why they love chemistry, talks about that they've been on work placement, talks about how they've been involved in chemistry style competitions, a chemistry day at Oxford University. So that's the first section of their personal statement, where they're quite clearly showing the universities how passionate they are about that subject. This person wanted to go into a degree in sports science, and again, the opening few paragraphs are all related to their reasoning behind it and what they have done that has been connected to sport in the past. Other examples for you to read: physics, the person at the bottom went on a school trip to CERN, literacy, history, all there for you to help you support your child in writing this personal statement. Another important aspect of the university application form is the reference, and staff within the school are asked to write another 4,000 character reference about each of the applicants. In this reference, we talk about subject-specific strengths, skills they might have learnt within our subject areas, communication skills, whether they've been involved in our subjects in an extracurricular manner, supporting other students. All of those things are written on the reference as well as a predicted grade. Student finance is an important part of the discussions that we have, and there will be a further meeting for parents in October where the Liverpool University representative comes in and speaks to you about all the various forms of student finance available. But within this PowerPoint, it talks about how the tuition fees will cost £9,250 a year, in addition to obviously the living costs that students have to incur. But as stated there, they don't have to pay this back until they're earning over £27,000, and the interest rate is of course extremely low.
Students at uni or college have two main costs: tuition fees and living costs. The good news is that there's lots of financial help available to help pay for these. There's a tuition fee loan to cover fees and a loan to help pay for living costs, such as rent, books or travel. As with any other loan, these have to be repaid. The difference here is that student loans don't have to be paid back until the student has finished or left their course and their income is over a certain amount of money. The amount repaid each month will be based on their income, not how much they borrowed. Interest will be charged from the day the first student finance payment is made to the student until the loan is repaid in full or cancelled. There's also extra financial help available for students with a disability or students who have children or an adult who depends on them financially. Unlike loans, these don't usually have to be paid back.
So I hope you found that information on the university application form useful, and if there are any further questions, our email addresses are at the end of the PowerPoint presentation for you to get into contact with us. Another popular next steps for our students is to go on to an apprenticeship when they leave school. An apprenticeship is a great way for a young person to kind of learn on the job. So they are gaining qualifications, gaining experience, gaining skills, while at the same time being paid for it. There is a video here attached to the presentation that you can look at. This one is approximately 10 minutes long, whereas this one is slightly shorter, so I'll play this one now. So I hope you found that video useful. And the benefits of an apprenticeship are, of course, that they are learning a skill, they are learning a trade, they are learning valuable education whilst in post and getting paid at the same time. And of course, working towards nationally recognised qualifications. And there are different levels of an apprenticeship, which I think it's really important to explain. So if they talk about a level 2 apprenticeship or an intermediate apprenticeship, that is approximately the equivalent to GCSE qualifications. A level 3 or an advanced apprenticeship is the equivalent of A-levels. And a higher apprenticeship, or sometimes referred to as a degree apprenticeship, is the equivalent of levels 4, 5, 6 and 7, which is degree style study. And of course, those higher and degree apprenticeships, it's very similar to all apprenticeships. You're learning whilst gaining qualifications. However, what higher and degree apprenticeships also offer is that the apprentice will go to university 1 or more days a week and gain their degree at the same time as gaining their apprenticeship, but the person that employs them will pay. So those tuition fees of over £9,000 a year will not be paid by the apprentice. They will be paid by the employer. There are various places where our students are shown how to look for an apprenticeship. So the government.uk website is a great source of apprenticeships, and students are told to kind of like keep an eye on those types of apprenticeship sites every single month, because new ones come up at different times throughout the academic year in year 12 and 13. Or you can go on to specific companies' websites, Unilever, Airbus. All of those have specific areas where you can look at what apprenticeships are available and when they become available. Unifrog, as well as universities, there is a section where they can click on apprenticeships, and again they can type into a search engine what types of apprenticeship they are looking for, how far away from home they want that apprenticeship to do, and Unifrog will just pull that information for them regularly. So they are told to regularly look at that. And they can, at Unifrog, have a look at the different levels as well. So it will pull up what higher degree apprenticeships are available. So I think I typed in here that I wanted an apprenticeship in engineering. The advanced ones are to do with the equivalent to A-levels, and the higher degree ones are obviously the equivalent of that. And there were many within the area to do with engineering that I could then click on, and it will take me automatically to their application form. So this slide would be a good one to refer back to, and students will be encouraged throughout the year to keep checking the apprenticeship section to make sure that they're fully aware of what's come up. We also post any that we are sent onto the students' teams, the year 12 and 13 teams, in their information, advice and guidance sections. Lots of different levels of apprenticeship there, though. As you can see on the right hand side, the solicitor there at level 7, that's the equivalent of going like at a master's degree level. So there's a whole host of different levels of apprenticeships that are available to our students, and we have had some very, very successful students go on to higher degree apprenticeships, and we bring many of them back into school. Year 12 recently had a talk from 2 of our students who are currently doing higher degree apprenticeships at Airbus. Students are also shown what kind of skills that the employers and the apprenticeship providers are looking for, and again throughout the course of their A-level studies we try and ensure that the students have been involved in a number of activities that help them become ready to show those skills and personal qualities. And here the local authority also receive a spreadsheet of live vacancies, and I've placed the links on there for you. As I stated earlier, university and apprenticeships are two of our most popular destinations once students leave school, but there are additional post-18 options available to them. Some students do go on to college, so for example, if they've taken a number of A-levels but then want to go in a different direction, they may well do a one-year foundation course at college in engineering or law in order to prepare them for their next steps. But many who don't go on to university or into an apprenticeship, a gap year is what they take, and they can do a whole number of things during the course of that gap year, including working abroad, whether it be on Camp America, whether it be with Project Trust on projects in India and China and Asia, or it might be the case that they go travelling for the year. And of course, these things have an awful lot of advantages in regards to students becoming more independent and gaining the skills that employers will eventually want them to have in the workplace, like teamwork and resilience and independence and being able to cope when problems come along. So I hope this presentation has been of some use to you. I will be posting out to everybody that on the 1st of July from 6 o'clock, I will be hosting this presentation live on Zoom, and I'll put the Zoom link out for you so that I talk more in depth, and if anyone's got any questions as we go along, then I can answer those live with you. But if you do, if you're unable to join us on the 1st of July and you do have any questions relating to anything from post-18 options or any matter regarding the sixth form, the 3 email addresses are there. So myself, Mrs. Henderson, head of the sixth form, there's Mrs. Kavanagh as the deputy head of the sixth form, and of course Mrs. Boothroyd, who is our sixth form administrator. So I hope you found that presentation useful, and please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any further questions.